white t-shirt. All the black boys in the white t-shirt. All the black boys in the white t-shirt. All the black boys in the white t-shirt.
Hello and welcome to Brunch with the Boys. My name is Yolo Akili. Excited to have you here with us. And today's topic is that time you didn't trust your gut and it got you into some foolishness. Now, of course, this topic is something we all can relate to. You know, it may have been that time in which you had a feeling, kind of like an inkling inside of you, and you just kind of like, something that doesn't feel right here, something doesn't feel good with here. But you still went and did whatever that was anyway. And we're talking about what happens when you don't trust that inner compass, when you don't trust your gut. So it's going to be a really interesting conversation because, you know, we all have those moments when we just try to rationalize and move ourselves into something, and then we end up in a situation which isn't good for us, or just kind of create some awkward, maybe strange situations. So today with me, of course, I have a distinguished panel of gentlemen. We got a lot of new faces in here today. You know, all these new cherries. Turn that cherry out. Turn that cherry out. So we have a little bit, you know, an interesting astrological kind of grouping. We have two Scorpios, Gemini, and a Pisces. So like I'm Team Gemini, Team Pisces. You know, Scorpios, we gotta watch out for them girls. I don't know why there's so many on the show all the time. There's always at any given time at least like 3 Scorpios. They're just trying to take over. They're trying to run over, trying to run me out.
It's because our intelligence is so high that we, you know, naturally sort of, you know, do well in, you know, television and public performances and things of that nature. That's what it is.
Public performances. We're going to stop. We're going to leave it right there. Public performances. We're going to let that be what it's going to be. Y'all know what that is, all right? That's
right.
All right, so let me do the introductions for everyone. So the first person that I want to introduce is a long-term friend of mine. I've known him for quite a while. His name is Lamont Sims. Lamont, say hello.
Hey.
And me and Lamont actually go way back. I actually met Lamont at a twerking competition in the downtown.
Wow. Everybody's twerking.
His face is like, wait a second, girl, wait. No, wait, that's not what happened. That's not what happened. No, I'm just kidding. Lamont is a graduate student in the Department of Gender Studies at Indiana University, where he reads and writes about Black queer cultural and artistic performance. He's from the ATL and is always scheming to get back to the ATL because that's where we met and that's what he loves. So, y'all, welcome Lamont to the show. Welcome, Lamont. So
Hey.
Yay, Lamont rock. Speaking of ATL, we have on the show today, we have a new transplant to the ATL, new AT alien, Dirty South, you know what I'm saying? we have Anshay Hall with us. Anshay, how you doing?
Hey, good. Thanks for having me.
Awesome. So Anshay considers himself a student of life and understands that each individual he encounters is the expert in their own life experiences. He and his husband have launched their company, Intimacy in Color, in April 2013. It's a platform for developing toolkits and breaking down the various pathologies of oppression we all encounter as we build relationships with the self, families, significant others, and in the workplace. That's real deep. That was real deep. And Anshay just recently moved to ATL. Like you said, you're in Riverside, right?
Riverdale, yeah.
Riverdale. Awesome. So are you loving ATL so far?
I am loving it. I just have to be careful of the sweet tea because they add too much sugar in it.
Yeah.
So, other than that, I'm good.
You need that good sweet tea in you. Get some of that good sweet tea. Get some of the grits and them greens, boy. We got to get it together. Good. We'll have to talk afterwards because I would love to. I said I want to talk to you about there's some really great hole-in-the-wall spots that I know in ATL, so I just would love to talk to you more about this.
All right, sweet.
You and Michael go there and give me a report about what y'all think there. You know?
Okay.
Awesome. So thank you so much for being on the show today. It's awesome having you on. Yay. Next we have Kenyon Farrow, the returning Shade Queen and reigning Shade Queen, a bunch of the boys. Kenyon, of course, is a writer and an organizer. He's the former executive director of Queers for Economic Justice and the current global policy director for Treatment Action Group. He's also known for pulling stunts and shows all over social media, and particularly his show. Thanks for welcome to the show again.
Thank you, Boo. Glad to be here.
And our last Scorpio that we have on the show, last person I want to introduce, but also another Scorpio that we have on the show, which despite my best judgment, I was like, oh, I like Raven. I was like, Scorpio. But I was like, two Scorpio. I was like, Kenyon don't need no more help. Acting a fool on this show. He don't need no more help. So I have a funny story about how I first actually came across Raven. So Raven is I'm gonna read his official bio, but Raven is very spiritually centered, he's a sensei, he does a lot of life coaching and different kind of work. But I remember running across stuff on Facebook, and Raven's the kind of person who writes these kind of these posts that are inspirational but kind of read you and snatch your chakras together real quick. That's a little bit of a nasty, he just kind of came for me a little bit. It'll be just it comes in all this kind of couched in this very spiritual, beautiful language, but it's really kind of girl, you're late, and we don't use it.
Right.
So sometimes he'll send a text message to you, it'll be inspirational, or there'll be a post, and it'll come off really sweet, and the next thing you know, you'll be like your wig got snatched. Wait a second. Call me late or something like that. So Raven's amazing, and so I met him through social media, and we became connected afterwards. But let me read his official bio. So Raven considers himself the ultimate entrepreneur. He is a CEO, life coach, author, actor, poet, editor, host, and has created a media empire that promotes and celebrates knowledge, healing, and peace through the arts. He's currently in Baltimore, in Baltimore, I met him actually in New York, he's in Baltimore now, which reminds me I need to give everybody a good sense of where everybody is. But Raven, this is Raven's first time on the show, and we're glad to have him here. So thanks for being here, Raven.
Thank you so much for inviting me.
Awesome. So now that we have introduced everyone, we know all the characters, we can go ahead and get into the juicy tidbits of the conversation, okay? So once again, and if you're out there watching, you can always learn more about the show or participate in the conversation. Mm-hmm. First of all, you can go to brunchwiththeboys.org to learn more about the show, more about the cast and characters, and the different things that we'll be doing. If you want to follow us on Twitter, you can follow us at brunchwtheboys. If you're tweeting about the video or being part of the conversation, make sure you use our hashtag, which is #BWTB. And we are on Twitter every Sunday, 1 to 2 p.m. Eastern Time, having different conversations, sometimes about videos and sometimes about different topics. So make sure you follow us on Twitter. Make sure you visit our website and check out things and learn more about these guys, because I'm sure, with the exception of the Scorpios, most of them will be likely.
Scorpio shade.
Scorpios.
It's so dark in here.
It's feeling like a Scorpio shady day today. I don't know what it is. Throw some shade, honey. Just throw some shade.
That you secretly love us. You're so close to our sign. That's what it is. You're so close to being a Scorpio. You have a connection to us. Admit it.
You will not come on my show and curse me out, Raven. No, it's true. I do keep Scorpios close to me because it's better to have them close to you than on the other side.
Y'all are the most.
Perhaps.
Better to have them close to you than on the side of the battlefield, girl. Just real talk. It's what it is. It is what it is. All right. So starting off our conversation about the different experiences we've had and not trusting our gut and where that's gotten us, is of course our Gemini today and twerker, Lamont.
Yeah, you have never seen these cakes twerking. Come on.
Hold on. I've seen them cakes twerking now. What are you talking about now? I got some video. No, I'm kidding.
Please. All eyes. But so let me start. And every time I go into the barbershop, I get a little nervous off bat. My guard is up, right? And I'm in Indiana, and so I had to find a barber. And I go in, and this particular barber tells me that there are some outlet stores or outlet malls in a small town nearby. And I'm just like, okay, why are you telling me this or whatever? And this is probably my second time seeing this barber, and so I'm still trying to get to know him. But he doesn't really say why he's telling me. I mean, it just comes out of nowhere. I'm really just trying to, get a lineup or whatever. And so I get I'm nervous, already in the barbershop. So I leave, and usually I realized I was wearing some of my favorite pants. They're olive green linen pants, and they feel really, really good.
Yeah.
And sometimes I like to wear them without underwear because I need to kind of, breathe a little bit.
Hold on, are you sure you're not a Scorpio?
I'm quite sure I'm not a Scorpio.
No, that's Gemini too.
Right?
That's Gemini shit right there. Prince of Gemini.
But this particular day that the next day that I put them on, I didn't wear any underwear. And when I get outside, I feel a little bit of a breeze, but I'm not sure. I don't really pay too much attention to it. It gets a little nippy or colder, and I go back home, and I look in the mirror, and it's like my ass cheeks are just hanging out. And so I've been walking around with my ass out, you know what I mean? And so then I'm thinking like, well, I know I was wearing underwear the day I went to the barbershop, right? And so I'm getting closer to my barber. I'm wondering like if he was really just trying to warn me that I had holes in my pants, in some of my favorite pants, but he didn't straight out say it. He was just saying you need to go and check out the outlet malls. I'm just like, okay, maybe he's trying to, help me find some affordable clothes or something. As I think back on it. And so now I'm so embarrassed to even kind of like bring it up though, but I think my barber saw my ass out and I didn't even know it.
Yeah. But something in your spirit early that morning told you that
something told me when he brought up the outlet malls. When he brought up the outlet malls, and of course I felt wind at my backside, but I didn't think too much of it until I got home.
There are so many things I can say about wind at your backside, but we're gonna really go by.
I'm trying to keep it real cute too. I'm trying to keep it real cute for this show. So yeah.
Oh man.
Wow.
Hashtag
What did you learn about, wind at your backside from that?
Just, I don't know. Next time a barber kind of tells me something out of the way or out of the loop or whatever, I need to ask him, well, why are you telling me this? What is going? Tell me, speak the truth or whatever. And definitely, when I realized that I was wearing them without underwear, I'm thinking maybe we need more spaces where we can just have our asses out a little bit, you know what I mean, without underwear. So I don't feel ashamed, So I don't feel embarrassed or ashamed. We need more spaces, to have our booties out sometimes,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So we need to create a space for our asses to be.
We need spaces all over the place.
Mm-hmm. I hear that. I think there'll probably be a petition on change.org in a few minutes, actually, making that space a reality.
Speak it into existence.
Speak it into existence. That is a funny story. Hilarious. So, in the future, when your barber is kind of giving you a little bit of a hand, you're gonna just trust that feeling.
I'm gonna trust it.
You're gonna trust it.
Yeah, but we know barbershops, so,
What is that Nina Simone song, Kenya? Wild is the Wind? Yes. Hilarious. Awesome. Thank you for sharing your story with mine. That is awesome. Let it be a lesson for all those out there. When you feel the wind at your backside, honey, it's something, depends on where you are when you feel the wind at your backside. Let's start there. But yeah. So, Lamont, what did you have for brunch today?
Yes. I ate some scrambled eggs, my usual scrambled eggs, but I put a little bit of spinach in there today and some cheese. And I do it that way because I can't really make an omelet. I'm lefty. I'm a Gemini, we struggle in the kitchen.
Gemini struggle in the kitchen?
I feel like Geminis who are lefties struggle in the kitchen.
Oh, gotcha. That's cute, boo. I see you get a little green in your eggs. I see you do.
And some grapefruit juice that I'm, washing it down with right now.
Very cool. All right. Well, thank you, Lamont, for sharing your story. Quite hilarious. Quite a learning opportunity for all of us. All right. Mr. Hall, you're going to tell us a little bit about some experience. Don't be talking about ATL in any of your story, okay, first of all. Talk some mess about ATL, about the South in your story. But you know, no, I'm just messing with you.
I mean, so I think in 2009 when I moved to Jersey from Kentucky, I was still naive the entire year, and a lot of my friends were always telling me what to do and what not to do there. And one thing about me is I can be too trusting of people. So one night, get on A for A, get a date that come over, and we were chit-chatting before we actually got into it. And so a lot of stuff that he was saying, I felt like he was lying a lot, but I still wanted to have up because he looked good, and I just need to have up. And so we ended up doing it, and I went to the shower, and I left my wallet on the nightstand.
Oh, damn.
So one thing, and I had two roommates at the time, and one of my roommates, she always told this story that whenever she has a date that come over, she put her purse, she's transgender, so she puts her purse in like where the pots and pans are. She said that way if someone's like snooping through stuff, I can hear if they're going through that. So I left my wallet on the nightstand. I go out, and this is like on a Saturday night. So Monday night, I go out. I'm going to the ATM machine. I pull out cash. I get my receipt, and I notice I have like $24 left. And I'm freaking out because I already knew I had like about $1,000 in my account, just always hold me over. And so when I contacted the bank the next day to kind of work all this out, they made mention that this person went ahead and spent like $700 some odd on their on a T-Mobile bill, I guess an old bill they had, plus got a new phone.
Damn.
So the date got me real bad, and it was hurting because something was telling me just to be careful with this dude because he lies a lot, and just hearing everything, a lot of your stuff doesn't make any sense. So just having to go through all of that stuff was just a mess in itself, and it was like right around the Christmas holidays when this happened. So yeah, the date got me big time.
Oh, wow.
Thing.
Yeah.
Oh.
But I mean, it's something to look back at and you can laugh about. Like, you know, I think for me, I look back and laugh at it because I'm like, you know, it's a lesson learned. And I always tell people, like, you know, be careful when your date come over because they got me. So, yeah.
Some folks are kleptos. They will snatch your shit.
Okay.
Don't leave the room.
The ancestors were trying to tell you that the trade wasn't right, honey. They were trying to tell you. They were trying to speak the word to your spirit.
The sex was good, but he hurt my 18.
At least the sex was good.
Yeah.
That's important. I mean,
that out.
So it wasn't a total loss. I mean, it was like, you know, some things where it wasn't a total loss.
And he was somewhat responsible because he paid up an old bill. You got a contract for less than $700 and pocketed the money. I'm just saying.
You will not rationalize him as a responsible person for paying the T-Mobile bill, Kenya Farrow. You will not do that today, this morning, and ever. We will never do that.
It's funny. You like end up going over to another carrier once that happens.
Right, the date was right, exactly. The date was conscious of her credit score. I'm just saying.
Yes, spinning it into a positive. Good job.
You know what? I have to apologize because you know what? I did not introduce the Shade Stone today, and I just feel like this is the perfect time to just bring it up.
I was going to ask about that.
Because you know the new folks who might be watching don't know about the Shade Stone. I should have known. Like, you know, this is the problem. See, Scorpios come on your show, they make you forget about that you need the Shade Stone, even though like I would need it even more with them being on here. You see what's happening right now?
It's silly.
So just for everybody, the Shade Stone, this is amethyst. It is, you know, Raven knows a lot about this. This is Raven, you want to explain what amethyst is, Raven? Give me a little explanation.
Oh no. By all means, Libra.
You got it. See, that was an example of shade. So you didn't see that. So amethyst is a crystal. It is used. It's been used throughout history for different things. You know, to for drunkenness, to dispel negative energies, to keep Scorpios at bay, all different things. So what it does is it clears up shady vibrations. So at times when people like start acting up, I have to bring it up and like, you know, put it across the screen. And so I just need to do a couple of spins real quick because there's been a lot going on right now. Okay, there we go. We're gonna bring it across the screen.
Shouldn't the amethyst be burning your fingers right now?
Actually, amethyst burning my fingers right. Ooh, do you see? Lord! Lord, let me put this on my head because I am not safe. Lord, shit, what is going on? I am not safe here. Lord, see what happened. You see what happened. So this is the Shade Stone, just so you all know. Because I feel like we ain't even got much time left, but I just feel like I'm gonna just need to bring this back. You know? So Ashay, thank you for sharing your story. That is a great story. Thank you for sharing, and definitely a thing where we learn about like trusting our gut and what we feel and into it, right? You know, definitely.
Get your wallet up.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. So now we have now we go into, let me go ahead and put the Shade Stone out now. Keenan's gonna share. Right there.
You might need to just like hold it, or you might need to like mail me one that I could have around my neck at all times. Because this story, or a ring or something with an amethyst in it, I don't know, because this story is gonna be shady.
Oh Lord.
So,
Kenyan. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
and you actually know this story, Yolo. You'll recognize some of this. So So I know, it may be hard for the kids to, to believe, but, once upon a time, I was, in a swirl relationship that I knew damn well I didn't have no business being in.
What do you mean by a squirrel? I'm sorry.
A swirl, honey, swirl, black and white swirl.
Oh, swirl. I didn't know what that meant. I was like, squirrel. Girl, you think squirrels? Girl, that's a lie.
No, swirl. So anyway, so I met this dude. I knew him through kind of doing, activist work, whatever. And for a while, like it was just like we were like messing around. But I kept it very much at bay because I kind of felt like it was gonna be a stunt, and that was all it needed to be. And then at some point, I decided like, we would like, try to, date and, be in a relationship or whatever. And, which I knew I ain't had no business. So my first clue was after we started dating, it was like maybe a month later, it was his birthday. And so he had invited me to like come out and have drinks with a bunch of his friends like for his birthday. And, thank whatever, gods were at work that night. But I had actually already had tickets to see my homegirl Joy in New York City. So that I already had that like planned for later that night. But I was like, okay, I'll come early, hang out with you and your friends and then go. Now, I'm not judging what anybody chooses to do in terms of their relationships or whatever, but I'm just going to, say, brothers, if you decide to, swirl, like, there's a couple clues you should look for, right?
Oh, Lord.
So if you are in, a city like New York City, Atlanta, or some city where there is a kind of critical mass of black folks, and you show up at the function with your, like, swirl date, and there are no black people, that's a sign your ass shouldn't be there, right? So, because I got to the birthday function, I sit down and I'm like, we in Brooklyn.
Oh no!
Right.
Oh no!
Where are the other Negroes? Like I live walking distance from the spot, and I was like, where are they? Right? So that was like, so I kept it cute. I had a couple of drinks, and then I, went to see Joy, got my life at the Joy show or whatever. And, there were just kind of several other, instances. I stayed in that relationship for about almost 2 years.
Oh, wow.
And I will say that, it was Yolo who was the first person of all my friends to meet said person who told me the truth. Yolo was the first person who met him and was like, girl, I don't see it. Which was good because then I was like, oh yeah, I'm having all these problems, right? Like this is really not working for me for a whole bunch of reasons. So, again, like I said, you can choose to do whatever you want. I think that was the last time I will, Kenyon Farrell will try to swirl. But, I will say this. If you make the decision, I think at this point, if it ever happens in the future, I mean, it would have to be John B. or Paul Wall.
A different kind of swirl.
Yes, somebody who if you go to the function with John B. or
Right
Paul
in.
Wall, you ain't gonna be the only black person at the function, right?
Right, that's true. Very true.
I'm just saying a hint to the wise is sufficient. I'm through. That's it.
Wow. Kenyon, now that you tell that story that way, and you said explain swirl, I'm never going to look at, like, when I go to the yogurt place and I see the chocolate, I'm never going to look at that the same. I'm like, do I want a swirl today?